What is up, my ninjas? I'm Strident, and season's greetings, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and Merry Festivus for the rest of us. I hope you guys had a good time. The new year is rapidly approaching. I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up on things that you will be seeing in the next, in the coming year. Some of these things you've already seen, a little preview for in the background and whatnot, and then the majority of it was my Christmas winnings or Christmas booty, Christmas haul, so to speak. I hate that, but just a little preview. Some of this stuff I am super geeked about. There's a couple that I'm kind of like meh, but they were gifts, so the thought is there. You'll see there's a Kamen Rider there on a Maisto bike, which is something I do a lot. And I'm going to have a whole bunch more bikes to talk about with you guys. I actually have some to show you in this video. There's my Ninja. Showing my Ninja's my Ninja. And yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I mean, it was a good Christmas. So yeah, I got to give a big shout out to my homeboy ODC, that's me. He hooked me up with the Doomsday figure you saw there and the Roman Reigns figure, so thank you for that. Awesome hookup. But bikes, I was talking about bikes. I've been getting a lot of bikes from my Kamen Riders because of a subject that I talk about in great detail on my SoundCloud page. I talked about how a lot of the riders have bikes and then don't use them in the show. They don't really use them. So I was like, why don't they just have badass bikes? You know what I mean? Like, they don't all have to transform into robots, but they could just be badass. So here is, Wing Knight on his. Here is Eternal on his. Eternal doesn't have a bike in the show because he doesn't really show up in the show. He shows up in 2 of the movies, maybe 3, but anyway, you don't see him on a bike. At least I don't remember him on a bike. This bike here I saw and I was like, this has to go to Siren. At some point I'll have a bike for almost all of these guys, the ones at least that are my favorites. But this was only for her, and it works out perfectly. But yeah, Christmas time was great, got a lot of rest, got to hang out with the in-laws a bit. It was a little bit against my will, but I wanted to spend it at home. But you got to do these things, keep the wife happy. I'm sure at some point she'll do some stuff that she may not necessarily be keen on to keep me happy. So that's kind of how it works. But yeah, kids got out. Shoot, little Strident made out like a fat rat. I mean, he got all kinds of dope-ass Imaginext stuff. But I will be reviewing some of that stuff. Before this is all over, I'm going to talk about a couple random things, and then I'm going to give you a quick review at the very end. I'm involved in some projects. I kind of need your help, and I'm going to go into that straight away. I did work on join a contest, and I did a video about it, and it's online webtoon. It's the Superhero Comics contest presented by Stan Lee and Power Entertainment. I entered War of the Gods in there. Line webtoon is cool because it was designed for people who read their comics on the go. My comics format fits really well with this, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I show you a couple of the pages here. You kind of scroll up. So, you're looking down, but you're scrolling your page up. And, if you have a semi-widescreen format to your book, and you don't have, like, the typical comic book panels, it works really well for this. So, people are voting on this thing now. The submissions closed up sometime in December. I think it was like the 13th of December, something like that. So, we have until the 3rd of January. You can vote on any book that you like, or series that you like, daily, weekly, whatever. I need you guys to, show your support. Help a ninja out, for real. There's a lot of anime stuff, a lot of derivative stuff where the characters are not very original. This book, I went out of my way to make my characters very original. So, please check it out. Vote for us. Me and Prime did a lot of work. We put in a lot of work, and we would love for you guys to see it. and not only see it, is I want you guys to like take it in, you know, and it would just be dope to win something. You know, we put a lot of, you know, blood, sweat, and tears into this. Yeah, there's a, you know, a monetary prize, but it's going to go into the book. That's how all the money that we've raised has been. It's been going right back into the book. So, you know, please, you know, show some support, check us out, and vote, 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 vote. Please. Thanks, guys. Next up, Mayfest is making Batman vs. Superman figures. I'm excited because, you know, even though in the beginning I thought that this was going to be a crappy ass movie, I actually like what I've been seeing. I love the designs of the, you know, of Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, or Diana as I like to call her, and I need them in my collection. And these look pretty good. It looks like if they don't go in the direction that the Dark Knight Rises figures went in, or Batman went in, the first one, where the arms were popping out of the sockets, then these are going to be some dope ass figures. And unlike most collectors, I play with my figures. I mean, I don't play with them super hard so that they'll break and stuff, but I play around with them a lot. I figure out what they can and can't do, and what their tolerances are, and if I can pose them in this way and that way and make them actually look dynamic and such. So I will have so much fun with them. And you think about it, it's what, like 120 bucks for the 3 of them? Because I just want the basic 3. I don't need Batman in his armor. I just need regular, you know, Batfleck. I need this Superman, and I need Diana, and I'm good. That's all I want from this line. So if the build quality is like that of an SH Figuarts, because I mean they're close. I mean, and when you look at the joints, so much of it looks like what you would get from a Figuarts. If it is, you know, of that kind of quality, then yeah, I'm all on board. Now, we saw images of these guys about like earlier in the year, and it was from a really crappy, I think it's that thing in the back actually, what you see in the back of this picture. It was really crappy, like a catalog or something. It just didn't look right. But these are the clearest ones I could find. I think I found these on Toy Arc. I don't know what toy show they're at, but they showed up there. There were some Hot Toys figures there of Batman vs. Superman. But these are must-haves. At 40 bucks, even people who don't normally collect these kind of figures, at 40 bucks, that's a steal. Because like I've said, import figures, that's kind of like the wheelhouse that I'm in. 40, 50 bucks. If it's a big set, I'll spend 60. Like I just bought the Ichigo and new Cyclone set from SH Figuarts, and that came out to about 60 bucks. You know, and I don't like it, but you know, it was like 40 plus 20 bucks shipping and handling, which was ridiculous. But you know, hopefully it'll get here quickly. But anyway, as you can see, freaking Diana looks amazing. You know, that sword looks a little bit small, but she looks badass, and I can't wait. I can't wait. They went for exactly the same color scheme I did, except I don't tint all my colors. You know what I mean? I don't feel like they have to be tinted. I like a little bit more vibrance in some cases, and then I light them the way that I want them lit so that, you know, the colors don't blow up on the screen. But I really dig this design. I can't wait. I mean, that armored Batman looks cool, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like I got the Thrasher suit, or the Berserker armor as I like to call it, so I don't need that. So we'll see, you know, and to have to buy 2 Batman figures when everybody else is one, like, I don't know, you're not gonna trick me like that. So if it's on sale or something and I catch a good deal, I'll definitely pick it up. But the other 3 must-haves day one, I gotta have them. I mean, you guys know me. I'm a comic book fan first and foremost, but I love my DC shit. Like, it's just, I can't really dodge it. You know what I mean? Not to the point of pure fanboyism where I'm gonna say, you know, some stupid stuff just in favor of DC, but I love my DC comics. I mean, not what they're doing right now, but you know, I love the DC pantheon, especially when it's done right. So yeah, I just wanted to geek out about these real quick. And now on to our next order of business. I gotta remind you. So there's a superhero comics contest at Line Webtoon. It's presented by Stan Lee, POW Entertainment. The winner gets $30,000 and will be the next featured artist at Line Webtoon. So this is an opportunity for us to actually do this as a full-time gig if we're chosen as the featured artist, you know, if we win this. And it will be a paying gig, obviously. That's why they're showing you the 30K. All the money we've made so far has gone right back into the book. So I'm pretty sure a big chunk of this 30K, the majority of it, is going to go back into this book. A portion of it would obviously allow me to, you know, take time to focus on the book. You know, it'd be really awesome to be able to do that for a little while. But guys, I need you to jump on there and vote your asses off. You can vote every day. You can vote every week. You can, you know, I guess the sky's the limit within those, you know, confines, but, you know, show your support. It's something by us. You hear me talk all the time. Now you get to see what I do. You know what I'm saying? So help me out. Help us out. Prime and I put a lot of time, a lot of effort into this, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, as the saying goes, and it would be more than appreciated for you guys to help us win this thing. I mean, after all, you know, what good is a book if you don't have an audience? You know what I'm saying? So check us out, vote, we would appreciate it. And now for the review. What is up, my ninjas? I'm Strident, and I am back with another quick review. This time we are taking a look at my final, and I promise this is the final piece of my Cops puzzle. This is Checkpoint from 1988 from Cops by Hasbro. Now the significance of this character is pretty obvious if you just look at him really closely. You know that from my previous reviews and from other reviews online and stuff. Cops is the spiritual successor to G.I. Joe. They just took the idea of your, you know, anti-terrorist strike force or whatever, and they moved it to the city, and they made it an crime task force. Jesus Christ. All these things always happen whenever you're trying to record live. I just dropped my pointer. Anyway, on the cards, the dossiers for each of the Cops characters was written by none other than the godfather of G.I. Joe himself. He's pretty much the father of G.I. Joe himself, and that's Larry Hama. In Checkpoint's dossier, which I will have come up somehow on the screen, you will see that his name is Wayne R. Sneeden III. It's pretty crazy because I was like, really? They actually went ahead and did that? And if you know, Cops is supposed to take place in the future. That was part of their thing. They say that his grandfather served on an anti-terrorist strike force in the 90s. Who could that possibly be? I think it's Beachhead. Wayne Sneeden. The first. So there's a connection between these two. You know, it's his grandson. It's pretty dope that they went ahead and they did that. You know what I mean? It helps solidify the connection between G.I. Joe and Cops. Now, what makes this figure so dope to me is the fact that if you take all his gear off, which I'll do and then put him right back in the frame, you see that homeboy is actually just a soldier underneath all this, which is pretty cool. So harkening back to old G.I. Joes. He even looks like one of the early G.I. Joes. So that is the reason for me even picking this guy up. I didn't really like him that much because I thought there were some stupid things on him. And I'm going to go into that right now as we talk. I always put something to help hold characters' weapons in place when they don't have weapon storage already on them. But in his case, he has some of the worst weapon storage that I've ever seen. Like, they didn't think it out. His nightstick goes in here. Now, this is the worst place to put a nightstick, because if he was to walk forward, like I said before, he practically jabs himself in the gut or in the balls or something, you know what I mean? So I took that off. I don't use that. Instead, I put a rubber band around his waist and just have him tuck the nightstick in there because it makes more sense. And it looks like real world how we've seen people carry nightsticks. And even if
Cops takes place in the future, I doubt they would be that stupid to go backwards and not use their weaponry the way they should. He's a pretty cool figure. You've seen the other Cops figures, so you know they have like giant-sized, I shouldn't even say giant-sized, upsized classic G.I. Joe articulation. So I'm not really going to go into that, but I wanted to share with you why this figure is important, why if you're a G.I. Joe collector, you should have probably been paying attention to Cops, and why this particular Cops figure actually kind of is important by bridging the gap, you know what I mean? It's something that as a collector, this is the kind of shit we're looking for, you know what I mean? So this has been my review of Checkpoint. He is pretty much the connection piece between, or connection point between G.I. Joe and Cops, the spiritual successor. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. On to the next one.